Carlos Dunlap, who we talked about on the show, who actually we talked about it months ago, and JD said this is the potential of this happening. It was Carlos Dunlap coming to Kansas City. We had a few veterans, but Carlos Dunlap was amongst the veterans that JD said was coming. So that's what JD does. Dustradamus, as we call him. But so since our last show, we signed him to a 1-year, $8 million deal with incentives. So we found out yesterday what his base salary was. And that was 1 year, $1.12 million. That was his base salary with $7 million worth of incentives and bonuses. So my question is, we got a 32-year-old edge rusher coming to bolster up the pass rush. A guy who gets after the quarterback, 8.5 sacks last year. When we're talking about a 1 year, $1.12 million deal, based pretty much all incentive based, and we're talking about for a pass rusher, a hungry guy who wants to get paid. I mean, how Veach of this, how Veachy is this deal where he's pretty much giving you $8 million, but you have to kind of earn that $8 million. If you want that $8 million, you got to get to the quarterback. I mean, how much do you like this deal for a hungry veteran edge rusher?
You know what? If it's heavy incentive laden, if they're attainable, right? If it's something that's kind of easy, like, this guy get that, right? Maybe, I don't know, maybe get $3 million over 4 sacks, something like that. Shoot, I could get 4. Shoot, if I play in the entire season, I can get 4. So if it's something like that, I think, there's nothing wrong with that at all, right? I think what it does is saying, okay, if you don't perform, then you're not going to get the money, right? It's just how it works, pure and simple. So we didn't really lose that on the deal other than, we lost out on not getting the guy in here that was going to perform, and we're not going to get hit over the head with losing a lot of money either, to him and his, lack of performance, if you will. So, no, I think it's nothing like, well, you need to get 15 sacks this year to get. I don't think they're an incentive like that. Nothing like that, right? So, like I said, a veteran guy like that, you want to do a guy right. You want to make it where it can be lucrative for him. Kind of works. So it's like, hey man, we'll put little, goals and milestones in here, incentives in here, what you should be able to obtain with your ability at 32 years old, had 8 sacks. You should be able to get these. And so I think that's probably what it is. I can understand that. I like to see what they are. I'd actually like to see the contract and see what the incentives are. That'd be really interesting to see, right?
Full details aren't out yet. It's bonuses and incentives. So that's what.
Yeah. So I would think it's probably what it is. As a veteran of being 32 years old, that's probably something, like I said, that he should be able to obtain all those goals, all those incentives, if he performs like he did last year.
Right.
That's how I view it. Right.
Pretty reasonable milestones.
Yeah, reasonable. But Veach ain't gonna be like, maybe, hey, we gonna do something. All right. So you got to get 10 sacks and clean like 10 cars out here in the parking lot or something. I don't know. Veach is a bad boy.
Yeah, he is. He's something else. But as far as now that we have Dunlap in the room, what would you kind of grade this line, this edge rush? I mean, that we have now. I mean, I think it's pretty formidable with that. If Karlaftis pans out, you got Frank Clark, who's looking like his younger version of himself. You got Mike Dana, who had 6 sacks last year, and then you add Carlos Dunlap, who had 8.5 last year. I think this is a pretty nice looking room.
Yeah. I think it'd be a good room. I think it's a lot better than we was looking a few weeks ago. That's for daggone sure. So I'm like, okay, now I feel a lot better. I feel a lot better what's in the room right now, like I said, than I did a few months ago. So he'll bring something in, especially with also too Frank helping the younger guys out. That's key. That's important. Now you're gonna have another veteran presence that's gonna just be able to keep tailoring and helping these younger guys out. Hopefully these young guys are just listening and just taking in and eating everything these guys are saying, right? Just feeding all information and knowledge and watching these guys. Because man, you got 2 guys, man, who shoot, without a doubt, could easily be some of the top defensive ends in the NFL, right? take what they say and take it to the bank and listen to every good thing that they have to say about it, right? So that's going to be good. That's going to be good. He's going to drive competition from younger guys. He's going to get it out of them. So that's what I said. That being complacent sometimes in that position, Dunlap's going to bring it out of younger guys not to do that.
I mean, would you say? I mean, because this is already. I mean, obviously we had Melvin Ingram last year, but we didn't have. So now you say Dunlap replaces Melvin Ingram, that veteran role, right? So you have Clark, and then you have Dunlap who replaces the Melvin Ingram role. But then you have Karlaftis. We didn't have a Karlaftis last year. So already this edge rush room is already better than it was last year if you just look at it on paper, right?
Right. Yeah, true. Absolutely. I agree with that.
That's an improvement.
Yeah.
And the last thing, this is something that so we have Frank Clark. So the biggest additions we've had from the edge rush in the Veach era, where we went and got Frank Clark from Seattle, right? And then we're bringing in Dunlap, who's also played in Seattle. What is it that we like about these Seattle type DNs? I mean, what do you know about the kind of defensive scheme they have that we kind of like about these guys?
I don't know, man. You know what? I think sometimes I do know this, that some teams have a better rapport with other teams, right? And so you may have somebody that's in the front office or, over the years, like you trust a guy. They're like, hey, man, look, this guy right here is a real guy. And, we've done deals in the past, so let's talk about doing some things now. And so you'll see that. But I think that, like, defensively, I think the scheme is somewhat similar. I'm trying to think of Seattle right now. I don't even know who's the D coordinator up in Seattle. Do you know?
They've changed. It's not Ken Warren Jr. anymore, is it? Seattle. Seattle Seahawks, DC. Their defensive coordinator is Clint Hurt. He was the D-line coach for the last 4 years of Seattle.
Okay, he was D-line coach?
Yeah, he was their D-line coach for the last 4 years, and now he's their DC.
Okay. So, sometimes it's just the rapport. Scheme-wise, like I said, I don't know too much about, the Seattle. I haven't really watched them to see where they are with everything. But obviously they do have some type of relationship with that organization to get these guys from up there. And sometimes, if you ain't worried about Seattle coming out of your own division and all of that, hey, these guys are away from over here. Sometimes you try to get guys in your own division or, no way. Yeah. The same conference, nope, stay away from them. Nah, we ain't got nothing up here. Appreciate your phone call.
Yeah. So it also helps too to know that at the end, before Dunlap makes his decision, Seattle wanted to bring him back. So it wasn't like Seattle didn't want to bring him back again. Seattle had an extending offer out there for him, but he just chose to come to a better situation because he wants to win. So
Yeah, he made the right choice. He did, no question.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out the best clips from Chief Concerns. And if you prefer to listen to the show, subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get podcasts.